Here in America, how's everybody doing today? Just a quick couple of notes, comments about the latest election and special election in Alabama. So glad and happy to hear that Doug Jones actually beat Roy Moore, even though he has not conceded yet. That's fine. He can fight it to the end. I would urge people to continue to seek out the justice and the clarification on what this man has done. Just because he didn't get elected to the Senate doesn't mean he's still not fit for duty or office or to be a judge. And the people of Alabama ought to continue to investigate that. And I hope you do. Just like any other of these accusations, see them out, see what's going on. So I was making a comment about the black vote. Black women in particular carried Alabama in this vote. And a lot of people don't like to hear statistics. I think it makes them nervous when you start talking about the black vote, the Asian vote, the gay vote. Listen, there's nothing wrong when it comes to labels as we label certain things, because it is what it is. When you have separate people, different backgrounds, they have different opinions. They have different things to offer. So it's nothing bad, and we need to celebrate that. And it's okay to recognize that black people in America have a different experience as a whole than white Americans, and vice versa, and Latino Americans, and vice versa. But what you can't do is you can't ignore their experiences amongst their own group. And if anything, we should all try to understand that more. Not so much for white Americans, because again, it is. White Americans, here's what some of y'all don't get. Your story is well documented. Your story is well told. Your story is what it is. It is the American dream. There's nothing wrong with that. It is the way it was. But where we get into tricky water, murky water, is the fact that just because the story of America has been lifted up and the light shining on white Americans in the history of the country, doesn't mean it's everything about the country. And that's what we have been saying for a very long time. Other minority groups, people of color, and everybody across the board. It means that everybody's opportunity to shine in the spotlight has not taken center stage just yet. But if you want to call yourself progressive thinkers and free thinkers, you need to start realizing that America's history only touts the achievements of white Americans for the most part. So that's the next phase that you all have to get through your heads. There was a whole lot of folks that did a whole lot of contributions to this country that everyone loves so dearly. So again, we talk about reparations. I think a great starting point for reparations would be to go back and redo our history books and start teaching history the way it's actually happened in America. And there's a whole lot of things that were left out. So we can start right there. And again, to people who, like I said, this isn't a bad, I was just making a comment versus what someone had talked about, it doesn't matter if they're black or white. Well, I beg to differ, because it still does. You cannot omit color from this equation in this country of anybody. Because when you do that, you mitigate that person's shared experiences, their knowledges, and their cultures and customs, whether they are brought over from Germany, whether they're brought from Italy or Poland. Those are still intrinsic values that are a part of that person as a being. The problem is African Americans in America, we have to reach back a little further, and we have to do more research because we are still disenfranchised from our roots and from our history. So as today we learn more and more about it, this is something that everybody should be grateful about. I know I certainly am. The more I learn, the more I grow, because you don't know where you're going in the future if you don't know where you came from. Does that make sense? So again, part of that Make America Great Again, we can continue to do that when everybody has a sense of belonging, everybody has a sense of ownership, and everybody has a good understanding of the rights that are guaranteed to all of us. And that's only going to happen when we continue to get these old dinosaurs out of public office, put them in the back shelf somewhere where they belong, if they refuse to look at the future and if they refuse to embrace this free society where educated people are able to come together to agree to disagree at times, but certainly recognize moral corruptness and when it has to be weeded out and what we can do about it as a nation. Peace.